Hi, welcome back to Kent State class. Today we're going to talk about how to program a Watlow controller, starting with the first steps of how to make sure that the kiln is going to go up safely, how to make sure it's on, and then finally how to program it and how we program our kilns here when we're doing kiln casting, glass casting inside of a kiln.
First thing is you're going to need a program. So the way this program is broken down, this is the first part of the program. 16 hours to get to 1000, hold for 1 hour. That's when I'm going to check the kiln and pull out the stop, make sure that the molds are fine and close it all the way. Going to go up to 1200 in 2 hours. Then it's going to take 1 hour to get to 1500, which is the casting temperature, and hold. We're just going to worry about that one for right now. So first thing I'm going to do when I go to do one of these controllers is I'm going to make sure that it's working. So that blue light, that indicates that the door is closed and it's getting power to it. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see what the automatic set point is. So you see this one down here, the automatic set point for this one is 100 degrees. And so I need to check this. And the way you do that is you press this green button one time, then you move the arrow key up and down, up or down, it doesn't matter, until you see auto. And then you press the black button one time. Now it's telling me that the automatic set point is 400. We don't want that. I'm going to use the down arrow key, send it down to 100. Or thereabouts. Now, press the green arrow, the green button one time. Up or down arrow key, doesn't matter, until you see off. Then press the black button. Now we have reset the automatic set point so that when we start this program, the first place it's going to start is at 100 degrees. That's important. If we did not do that, it would start wherever that was at 400 and then move from there. If it was set at 1500, the first thing it would do would be to ramp to 1500 and then come back down and run the program. It's a long explanation why, but the first thing you do is you set the automatic set point. Next thing we're going to do is put it into program mode. You're going to press the green button again and hold it. You hold it for about 6 seconds and you'll see it say Prof and P1. Now, anything that's on the bottom line is not changeable. What is changeable is on the top line. So if you watch this, I'm only changing that. So this is telling me that we're looking at profiles, and this is telling me which variable, which profile I'm looking at. I'm looking at profile 1, and this is telling me that I'm in profile mode. Profile 1 in our kilns run easy 1, and profile 2 runs easy 2. So I want to be programming profile 1. Okay? Now, the way these controllers work is you go forward by pressing this green button, and you go backwards by pressing this. So I'm going to say, okay, yes, this is, I want to look at that. So now you see that that top number came down to the bottom. Let's go back and look. P1, watch what P1 does. Moves down. So now it's telling me that I'm in profile 1. And if I press the up and down arrow key, watch what happens. The variable on the top changes, but this doesn't change. Okay? So now this is telling me I'm in profile 1, step 1. And I want to say yes. I want to see what step 1 is. Now, there's only 3 variables that you're ever going to use. TI, which means time. And, which is how we end. All these other ones you can ignore, except for soak. So you're going to use soak, TI, and end. Those are the only 3 things that we're going to use. Right now, we want to use TI. So the up and down arrow key, it doesn't matter. I can just keep pressing these and you'll see the same variables. It's not until we press the green button that we select the variable. I'm going to select the variable for time. This first thing it's going to ask me is what temperature. I have this set to be in Fahrenheit, so I want to go to 1,000, which matches my profile that I wrote. And I want to do it in 16 hours. So I'm going to say yes, I want 1,000. If I didn't want 1,000, I wanted to change it, I could just use the up and down arrow keys and change it. Yes, I want 1,000, but I don't want to do it in 20 hours. I want to do it in 16. And 1 minute and 0 seconds, that's fine. If I keep pressing this, by the way, you'll see this. That doesn't matter. Those things should just say off and off. Those are not important. Now I'm going to press the black button once. When I'm in this, I'm seeing I'm in step 1. To get back out and change the variable, I'm going to press the black button once. It should say profile 1, step 1, and then use the up and down arrow key to find step 2. Now, if I was to be in step 2, any of these steps, and I press the black button too many times, I'm just going to go back to here. Okay, no problem. I want to be in profile 1. Yes. Profile 1, step what? 2. Okay? Yes. Move forward. So remember, the yes button is this. This is get back. And this is the only thing that changes anything. These two buttons, the green one and the black one, do not change anything. Just these. I want to soak. Yes, I want to soak. I want to soak for 1 hour though. Okay? 1 hour should give me enough time to get here and check the kiln. 1 hour, no minutes. Perfect. Now I'm going to press the black button once again. Takes me back out. So I'll do that again for you. I'm in step 2. Soak, 1 hour, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Black button once. Change the profile step to step 3. Go forward. Time, yes. 1200, yes. 2 hours. Does that match? And yes, it does. So, 2 hours, no minutes. Good. Let's go to step 4. Time, yes. 1500, yes. Over 1 hour. Let's see, does that match this? Yes. Okay. And 4 minutes. Cool. Step 5. I want to end and I want to hold. Yes. Now, to get all the way back out, I'm going to press the black button until I see the temperature in off. Or I would see the temperature in the set point, but I have it set as off. So that's it. Quick review to get into profile mode. Hold this down for 6 seconds, the green button, until you see it say prof. Select which profile you're going to change by using the up and down arrow key. We're going to do profile 1 and double check it. Profile 1, step 1, time, 1000, yes, in 16 hours, in 1 minute, doesn't matter. Step 2, soak or hold for 1 hour, yes. Step 3, time, yes, 1200 degrees in how long? 2 hours, yes. Now, real quick, just to go back to something. Step 2 was a soak. You notice I did not have to put in a temperature for soak. I only had to put in a temperature for when I'm doing time. Soak assumes you're going to stay where you were. So it's going to soak up whatever the previous temperature you put in there was. Time, 1200, giving it a new temperature to go to in 2 hours, yes. 1500 degrees in 1 hour, yes. End and hold. That's it. To start it, I'm just going to press that. I would need to make sure that I see the easy one light is lit up. And you see this little thing here? That little mountain looking thing? That is called the profile icon. That has to be lit up. If those two things are lit up, this one corresponding with the button I just pressed, and that is lit up, then boom, we are good, we are functional, we are running. So now, you might be wondering why I had it end and hold. Why didn't I put in a time or a soak
for the processing temperature at 1500? The answer is really simple. I don't know how long those molds are going to take to fill with glass up at casting temperature. And so I need it to sit at casting temperature until they're finished. And then I'm going to come in and physically, manually put it into Profile 2, which the Easy 2 button runs. And Profile 2 will start the process of sending it down into the annealing program. This is just the mold curing and the firing program. The next program we put in would be the annealing program. But since I don't know, because I've never done these castings before, how long it's going to take at firing temperature, at casting temperature, then I need to make sure that I have it at an end hold so that it'll stay there long enough. And then what I'll do is I'll just make a note in my little profile chart here. I'll make a note that says, oh, those castings took X number of hours to cast and all the molds looked great, or this one has a crack in it, or whatever the case is. And then that way, if I ever have to fire that pattern again, I know how long it takes, and I know what the quality of the mold was and all that. That's why I'm marking down also which kilns I'm using. So you see, I've made a note that I'm using annealer number 1 and roll top casting kiln number 1. It's important to keep a record of which kiln you're using because each kiln has its own idiosyncrasies in the way it fires. So I don't want to take notes about a kiln and then next time I'm going to put that casting in another kiln. Because unless that kiln did not work for me, which I've had happen and then I need to fire it in a different kiln. But for the most part, if I get a successful casting in one kiln, I'm going to always use that kiln for that casting because then I know that my profile that I've written is going to work for it. And I might not have to do an end hold. I might be able to go, okay, you know what? I know that it's going to fire. It was full at 4 hours. At 5 hours, it'll be perfect. I'm going to program it for 5 hours, and then I can program in the annealing cycle. But for right now, the way that we do it in 2 stages, firing and mold curing, and then the second stage is annealing. We'll talk about that later on.